What's up, everybody? Welcome to From Boys to Men, the podcast where we discuss everything. So, I hope y'all are having a good day or a night. It really don't matter when you're watching it, honestly. Just enjoy the episode.
Just watch it.
I hope y'all got a chance to see the last episode, because this part 2. And we ain't never even had no actual part 2. We've talked about it before with a couple of other episodes about having a part 2, and I don't think we ever actually had one.
No, I don't think so.
So
I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think we.
Yeah, man.
If we did, it was like.
I think at some point we're gonna come out with a blooper video, and
we definitely got
we
some
did try a part 2, but it did not work out.
No, I didn't. No. Did we?
We did try a part 2 one time.
Oh,
yeah, it didn't work out.
Did a whole episode.
Whole
That's
episode.
terrible.
entire episode. And
It wasn't video though. It wasn't video.
No, yeah, that was back before we was doing video.
a whole other episode right afterwards because how bad it was.
Y'all never hear it. Y'all will never hear it.
Nope. I don't even think it exists anymore. I probably deleted it.
Yeah,
so.
pretty sure it was.
I think
a
you
hot
did.
mess.
I think you did.
Yeah,
Probably-
that sounds like something I would do.
Probably right then.
It was like, nah,
Probably.
delete.
Wasted a whole hour of our day. Actually, 2 hours because you got set up and stuff. Anyway, so
We had to eat too.
but no, seriously, I hope y'all really enjoyed last episode. We definitely enjoy having a conversation. It's a serious conversation to talk about what's going on with police and the black community. It's a difficult conversation.
Yeah.
As you can see, last episode we definitely had some heated conversation between certain two people in this.
I don't think it was
here
heated.
group.
Oh no, that way was heated.
I don't remember any heated conversations.
Wow.
I don't think it was
I have
heated.
no recollection of what you speak of.
I don't think it was heated. I think it was more of a gentleman's debate.
That's all it was.
Wow.
Is that how you gonna put it down?
That's
Alright, cool,
incredible.
I'll call it a vigorous disagreement.
That's a good way to explain it. It's a good way to explain
A
it.
vigorous disagreement.
Bet.
Wow.
Bet. That's the
Okay.
phrase I'm using.
So cool. I guess we'll go with that then. No, it was heated. So but no, seriously, it was great. We enjoyed it. Dom and I definitely I meant to bring my popcorn. Dom, my bad. I meent to bring our popcorn in
Next
bro.
time.
Hey,
It might be y'all this time. You don't know.
It
probably
might
won't.
be after the conversation we had earlier today. But anywho, nah, but of course we got to get things going, and we got to start off with a good old
Story time with Dom.
You got
I was waiting on it.
Bro, why does he look at me like that?
It's like this weird anticipation that he likes to build up.
like, why you looking at my eyeballs like that?
Yeah, man.
Story time with Dom.
Anyways.
Yeah, that's foul. Don't do that no more.
Yo, what up, good people? It's your boy Diamond for Nick over here. Slow motion all day, every day. We keep it tight, keep it right. What?
Should we edit that out?
See, this is what happens. We keep letting them add stuff every time.
Every time.
So now we done went down a rabbit hole, but it's cool. Go ahead.
It's gonna be some episodes down the line where he's literally gonna take up the whole episode doing his intro.
Yep.
All right, keep it right, keep it tight.
Yo, I
All
was thinking about that. Hey, whatever.
Y'all make sure y'all work out, keep it right, keep it tight.
Take that for whatever you want it to mean, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Dom.
Anyways, no. Still on the topic of the situations that Black America is in right now. Thing is, one time I got flicked.
Can we explain what getting flicked means?
Getting flicked. My bad.
You got pulled over?
One time I got pulled over by the police officer.
The
in West End,
authorities?
Michigan. The authorities, as Cartman would say. So I think I was leaving my apartment in Westland. I forgot where I was going. I was trying to move, and I was going down Ford Road. And when I tell you, if anybody know Ford Road, when they do construction, it'd be that one lane, and you backed up for at least 2 miles. Stop,
true.
go, stop, go.
That's true.
I'm like, all right, so I rerouted on the nav, I'm like, all right, kind of found a roundabout, hit one street, hit another street. Yeah. Music going, I'm riding. Beat going. I don't know what I was bagging in the car, but I'm going. I'm already at 50 miles an hour on some side street. I look up, cop right there. I see the go. Anybody ever seen they radar gun when it shoots? It's a flash. You gotta catch it. I caught the flash when I looked up. It was like, he got me. I immediately just slowed down and pulled over. You know when you get flicked, you just and you knew you was caught. You just pull over. You just pull over. So anyways, got flicked. Same question again.
Please don't tell me you was going to the store.
I don't even remember where I was going. I really don't.
He was shooting a move.
Probably was. Been in some corners as usual.
Been in some corners.
So yeah, like I said, usual same thing happened. He walked up, how you doing? Casual conversation. And I will admit this time, like I rolled my window down, and I peeked out the window to see if he was walking, cause how close he was whenever. My man's already had his hand on the trigger. Well, not on the trigger, on the gun. But you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, how you got the latch on top to hold it down. The latch wasn't down either. He just had his hand on his hip. I still feel uncomfortable about it. But, whatever.
I mean, that's standard.
Yeah, that's standard.
Yeah, but just like,
They gotta be ready just in case you want to shoot out the back of the car.
Wow.
People do it. I
I'm just saying that is something that's happened multiple times.
I'm just, I didn't feel uncomfortable too much, but it was like, all right, cool.
Be ready to pull it out.
But then the usual question came out when he asked me. He was straight up just asking me, hey, I pulled you over. I said for speeding. I was like, for speeding. He was like, how fast you was going? I was like, I literally looked at him and I said, too fast for this lane. Literally. Like, he just smiled and started laughing. I was like, I ain't gonna hold you. He was like,
They didn't let you off with a warning?
no, he wrote me a ticket.
Oh, okay.
He wrote me a ticket. But
he didn't think he was that funny, huh?
No,
you know what? You're a funny guy.
Too fast.
I mean, he right for speeding. I just know that impeding traffic. I will gladly take my impeding traffic. Ain't no points. Gladly take those. But I was clearly going 50 into 25, just to let y'all know. Clearly going 50 into 25.
So this is a straight up residential neighborhood then?
Oh no! What worst part wasn't no houses.
That's reckless
I
driving.
think it was a community center at the end of the street. The rest of it was trees.
They got you going 25 because you got these
Sounds like a
pedestrian trees
driveway.
crossing the street.
So
Sounds like a driveway to me.
no, it was a street, but yeah, I got rolled up for impeding traffic. I ain't paid my ticket on time, so the fine went up.
All right.
But I did pay it though. So if I can leave you off anything, simple story. Drive the speed limit. Everybody.
So make a joke with the police officers. Hopefully, they'll go easy on you.
No, just drive the speed limit. Drive the speed limit.
That's probably the better.
Drive the speed limit, or don't get caught. One of the two.
Oh God, please stop telling people to not get caught.
It's the truth. It's the truth. You gotta catch them.
And that was a
Story time with Dom, one and only.
he is a celebrity for sure.
At this point,
I mean, he's got to be. I don't know.
caricature.
He's so unique. His stories,
I feel like y'all out here just come. What, bro? What?
they're unique. You know?
No, we said they're unique, different, one of a kind. You know?
Interesting.
I don't like none of y'all right now.
Like
Well-
that, like the unique babies that are out there.
Okay.
What does that even mean? You know what?
No one knows what that means.
You know what's wild? I did read something earlier today that said, it said, man, every baby comes out cute. Why is so many ugly people? That was, I believe it was Charles Barkley that said that. It was pretty,
I think that's
gave me a laugh.
absolute lie.
gave
Every
gave
baby
me a
does
laugh.
not come
Well,
out
this
cute.
is not the
Some
conversation.
come out unique.
Anybody who got a baby is cute.
Your
Go
child is
ahead.
cute.
That's not true though. It's
Chuck
just,
is gone.
It's just not true.
Chuck gonna get us going
people just
today
lie.
with this part 2, man. I'm gonna go ahead and pass the baton. Go ahead. Oh, he did not catch it. Oh my goodness.
I say for a bad segue,
For awful segue.
we are the kings of that. So bad segue
Absolutely,
into a
absolutely.
serious topic.
Right.
We gonna attempt.
We're going to attempt a serious topic. So we continue the topic from last week. Last week we discussed all the different things that we feel that are our police departments have issues with.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things that we did discuss was the trainings and the different things that could improve the relationship between police officers and the communities that they serve.
Yeah.
This episode, we want to touch on a few different trainings that we believe that will better our relationship with the police and the police relationship with us. And had they been in place, what kind of effect would they have had on some of the scenarios or situations that have happened in the past?
Why is he talking like that? Anybody else catch that? Maybe it's just me. You hear his voice, the way he's saying it, like the philosopher side coming out. No, just me. All right, cool.
Yeah, just you.
So,
It's typically
anyways,
just you. Go ahead, Chuck.
I'm gonna pass it over to one of these guys, but I want to bring up one of the topics that occurred last year. Big topic. I don't know.
Snap your fingers. Which one is it?
Use your words.
I'm forgetting the name right now.
Describe the situation.
Just describe the situation.
Yeah, George Floyd. Never mind.
There you
There
go.
you go.
All right, cool.
I don't know why I couldn't forget.
Say the name.
That's all right.
So, yeah,
Forgive
anyways.
him.
So I want to discuss the situation with George Floyd.
Yeah.
I want to discuss had the training or even the interviewing of police officers prior or individuals prior to them becoming police officers, and how that can affect these different situations that have caused either deaths, injuries, or just embarrassments. I mean, be honest, some situations don't always lead to a death. Some situations don't always lead to someone being brutalized or injured, but it's simply embarrassment.
Yeah.
To stake a claim that someone is someone else or has done something that they have not done, and then to infringe on their rights and embarrass them in front of countless people, especially when it's recorded.
Yeah.
That's not something that too many people want to look back and say, hey, I had to go through that. But in any case, one of the things that I mentioned last week, I believe, was to have the police go through a course, a college course, whether it be psychology, sociology, something that allows them to better understand people.
So you think I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead. If you have more, go ahead, and I'll ask my question after.
Yep. But in any case, I mean, it could be any training that we think, right? I think that more psychological evaluations should be established prior to entering even into the training academies for police. Mm-hmm. When you take a written test to become a police officer, there should be a truly in-depth psychological evaluation, backgrounds done to make sure that those individuals are able to even go through the rigorous training that should be taking place and go through and deal with different scenarios that they'll end up having to deal with in the workplace, out in the field. I think these are things that should take place. And I think that if some of these things take place, that will greatly improve the relationships between police officers and civilians.
So my question was, just from what you were saying, you think that in order to be a police officer, there should be some specific schooling?
Absolutely. I think that
like college education schooling type
correct
situation. Not straight out of high school, 18, don't know what's
absolutely
going on.
And I actually had a discussion with we discussed last week that some kids in the city come straight out of high school, go through training and become police officers. There's no requirement for certain life experiences. There's no requirement for someone to go through college. It's sad that in order to play in the NBA, you still have to go to college, but in order to become a police officer, you don't.
This is true. This is really.
It is.
When he said it in my brain, it was like, yeah. I mean, piggyback. I do agree. I think in more detail when you go when he said the psychological evaluations. I believe they do that, but like you said, more in depth. I think it's based on situations. I think they need to be placed in certain scenarios itself and then tested, because you don't know what could trigger a person at any waking moment. Compared to what they experience in their life. In a certain situation, you be okay with a gun pointed at you, but a baby crying and a mama on the street or something, they getting thrown out, might trigger something in your brain, or something, something that happened in your past, or something that happened to somebody that makes you think about it and you feel a different way about the situation compared to doing your actual job or being a professional about it. Mm-hmm. So it's like I agree, but I think that when you come down like training and everything in that type of sense, that when you do the background and everything, they need to do a situational psychological evaluation, because that's you never know, especially in the world today. So many different things happen every day that you have no clue what's gonna happen.
So how exactly would y'all say to go about this particular on you guys are saying okay, so Don, what you said was I'm just trying to understand. All right. So what I heard was that they got to be out there.
A lot of good ideas.
Yeah, I heard.
No implementation.
That's why I'm trying to figure out.
All right, so
how do you actually implement these?
Here's a implementation. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
So take
like
for example practical.
Not the perfect world.
Yeah.
I
wanted to make sure that
I was going.
Individuals can a civilian can request a ride along. Right, it's something that we all have a right to do.
Talking about we can do that.
Yes,
absolutely.
I believe that.
That
sounds like fun.
If I'm going out to become a police officer, that I should have to spend observing in the field what other police officers have to deal with, and then come back and be evaluated on my experience.
So, but is
prior?
people have
prior
ride-alongs.
to. No, I understand that. Prior to actually even going into the academy.
Okay, but is one
not
time
one,
out?
not one
Okay,
time out.
So how do you?
I'm talking. So
I don't think you can quantify that.
what do you mean?
I mean, you're saying. I mean, yes, you can say.
That might be the issue.
You can minimize your minimum of 10 ride-alongs, or 10 observations with the police officer.
Well,
I get that, but
I don't think you understand
you
what
want
I'm
to
saying.
experience that many situations. No, I'm just saying off of that.
Right.
I don't think you can quantify it.
So
in a certain
just to
sense.
clarify, I'm not saying they should go out only to experience it. The experience, yes, is vital to see whether or not that individual is up to, dealing with that profession. But the purpose of the ride along isn't for the individual; it's for the evaluator. So that once that person comes back, they're asked, every time in each experience that they've dealt with during their course of, their ride-alongs, how they are to deal with those situations had they been the police officer in that position. It gives that evaluator, that psychological evaluator, a better understanding of that person's mental state of mind and where they would go in these different types of situations, making it a little bit more clear than simply just taking their backstory, which has absolutely nothing to do with police work, and evaluating them on that.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, G. Go ahead.
I mean,
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with anything that's been said. My only thing
is it really your only thing? Go ahead.
It's probably not going to be. It's probably not going to be.
The only thing I'm going to say currently at this present time is beggars can't be choosy. Mm-hmm. So we have a situation where you guys are comparing the police to NBA or the police to any normal 9 to 5. Mm-hmm. You have to compare it to a job that needs people. Mm-hmm. Like, let's say the military, who constantly needs people. Mm-hmm. You can't. So for a field of people that needs people, I mean, we need people now. Mm-hmm. To say that we are going to be more stringent on who can become police officers, they were more stringent on who could become police officers. They have laxed that recently in Detroit. Why? Because they need people. Mm-hmm. So the alternative, and I'm not trying to say that I'm defending cops, because they 100%. There's things that need to be done, but we have to be realistic in what can happen, because the situation is so. the alternative to saying, okay, they need way more training before they can be cops. They need to do this. They need to do that. Okay, cool. Bet. There are going to be less cops available. Mm-hmm. So you have to be able to deal with that as well. There's going to be less police officers because one, less people are going to become cops. Mm-hmm. For whatever the new guidelines are for who can become a police officer, longer training. Mm-hmm. So all of this comes into consideration when you're saying, "Hey, just give them all this." Okay, I mean, in a perfect world, they would be psychiatrists, marksmen, everything. I mean, they would. Well, everything.
We're not asking
doctors.
We're not asking police officers to be doctors. We're not asking police officers to be psychologists. We're asking police officers to be able to understand people, because their job is to protect and serve the people.
I understand
that. If I continue to place police officers on the street that do not have empathy, do not have understanding of situations of people and what they're going through, then we're going to continue to have those George Floyd situations, and it's going to be a vicious cycle. That's never going to end because we keep saying we need more police. We need more police.
I have a question. Would we rather have quality or quantity?
I was just about to say that too.
I mean, I was just about to say that, and I know that's a very that's an easy question, but a hard answer. That's
not an easy answer because
it's not an easy answer.
I'm not saying that, but
50 good cops, but you have the city the size of Detroit. If they can't get there, then what?
The way I get that.
That's just as good as having nobody.
The way I see it is,
if they can't make it, then what?
A bad cop is worse than having nobody.
The way I see it is,
in my opinion,
we have taken that quantity, mentality, and as cops moved away, right? Police officers moved to different cities, states, whatever,
right?
Right? Our numbers dwindled, and so now we're in a police officer recession. Let's call it that.
Like that
in the city of Detroit.
Like that first.
And
deficit, but okay.
And those cops that were out on the street were now promoted, and we have these less than, and I'm going to call them less than professional leaders in the police force that are not leading these young police officers that are coming in the right direction. And so now we have, again, a vicious cycle of poor leadership, a numbers game, and bad relations.
Yeah, and the question is, how do you overcome that?
You have to. It has to be, at some point, you have to start somewhere.
More people need to sign up to be police officers. That is literally how you combat this.
I don't think so.
They need to have more people to choose from.
That's true.
When you have a limited field of people to choose from.
Here's the thing. You're saying you need more people to choose from.
Right.
Out of how many? Okay, all the people to choose from, let's say majority of them, 70% of them aren't good. Aren't, let's say,
good enough.
Aren't good enough.
I got a perfect
then
opportunity.
What? Out of the 30, out of the 70 that don't pass, right?
Right.
The 30 that say, okay, now they cops. Come to find out, they 15 of them aren't efficient enough at the job, but they're good enough to pass to become cops.
They're 100% putting them through.
That's not beneficial to the city. That's not beneficial to the community at all.
Right. So
because now you have the potential to create another criminal, but they just got a badge.
I do agree with what Chuck said in the sense of you got to start somewhere. I think I get that you need more people to want to do it and everything in that nature, but you also have to. More people would want to, I believe, or would actually put into action their desire to be a cop. Because like you mentioned last week that people do want to be cops. So I won't say they won't or will. I don't know. But I think if you have a better system in place, people may feel more comfortable with actually looking to go after that.
If you have more positive feedback, that describes being a police officer, being an authoritative figure, I believe more. Like I said, I agree with Mark. You would have more people. If you put something in place, I'm not saying that this specific training has to be done, but the fact is, if you had a positive, something to look forward to when becoming a cop compared to what's all negative out here right now, what's going on,
but
it'll make you want to be a cop.
I mean, right, like what G said, right? We need the numbers, right? And it's true, we do need the numbers.
I disagree with that.
But what's the incentive to get the numbers, right? Is not the badge. It's not the money. They
I'm
don't
trying to get
paid
a check
that
so I can get
much,
my charger.
right? So what's
Right.
the incentive to say, hey, you should become a cop?
Exactly, and that's what I'm. And then so now this is where my mind wraps in. To get people to want to become cops, they need to make obviously becoming a cop a little bit more presentable. And when we're talking about what you guys brought up, and you guys said, well, maybe cops need to, or as you said, more positive feedback about policing.
Which
This
can
is-
come from the system being done well. Them
Okay,
having a
and
better
this is-
system put
Okay,
together.
and this is where I disagree. And I mentioned, and we started to talk about this last week at the end of the episode. This is why I disagree. Does that play a role? I'm not gonna say it doesn't play a role. I'm not gonna go all off and say that you're just wrong. But I think the biggest issue as to why people, mainly black people, are not becoming cops is because of other black people. Oh, easy. Let me explain.
I see where you're going, and I think I agree. Let's see where you go.
So we spent the entire summer saying that we need more black people on the police force. That there needs to be a reform. That we need more people that look like us.
This is from black people, coming from black people.
From black people. And then when black people want to become cops, or black people that are cops, what do people call them?
Uncle Tom.
And then so traitors. So we can't become cops because we hate the cops. So you can't be a cop. But then get mad that all the cops look different than you. How can you have it both ways? You can't have it both ways and say everybody gonna look different. Everyone look different. Well, go and be a cop. But then everyone in your neighborhood and everyone around you saying that you're a traitor, you this, you that, and you the third. But they was all them same people who saying that were the same people downtown marching and burning stuff up. But not gonna do nothing about it. You can easily do something about it. You can have 100 people go sign up. You have 100 new cops today. Now, you can change. You would think after all that marching, we would have an influx of people who wants to be cops, black people who want to be cops, who want to go change something.
Here's the problem.
I
with
agree
that.
with that, actually.
Here's the problem with that. Right. Let's say.
I felt like he was yelling at me.
Right. Let's say that something happens and now we get an influx of black people deciding to become cops.
Right.
Now we have a police force that's divided because you have white cops out here who believe that, hey, we're superior, and we all know that there are some racist cops. They're not all racist. We have some racist cops.
Right.
This is true.
And some cops are they influence other cops.
Sure.
Right? And they'll go out there and say, hey, treat that black guy bad, treat that Mexican black, treat that Asian person
Those
bad.
people.
Right? Those people.
Because you couldn't come up with the words. I was trying to help you out.
But then you have these blacks, you have the Asian population, you have the Hispanics, whatever, who decide now, hey, I want to come and join the force because I want to be able to stop those white people from doing that. I want to be the person that says something as a police officer, right?
I don't agree, but yeah, but
here
but yeah, no.
where
But
I'm going.
Are those not those that happens though? People they actually try to come in to reform. Granted, there are not many numbers of them people doing that, but let's be true. There are people doing it. I'm not
where I'm
disagreeing.
going though. Here where I'm going. We can create that divided force,
right.
right? Some going in for the wrong intentions because we all know that there are police officers that join for the wrong things.
Right.
Now we have another issue amongst the police, and I believe the correct or potentially correct opportunity is to not to establish gun-toting police officers, but community police. And when I say community police, I mean individuals that work in the community for the police department. Not to go out there and ticket people, not to go out there and bust people for doing wrong, but to create a relationship between the people that are supposed to be protecting and serving by getting criminals off the street. And
So
right.
so you're saying like a middleman.
there has to be something that buffers between the people and the police that are actually out
a
there.
middleman for that. You
But
need somebody in the middle. Just make sure
But those are traitors.
Those are traitors.
they
See,
snitches.
here's the thing. See, again, we're sitting here acting like this isn't a double-sided coin, as if this is a one-sided street. It's not. It's not a one-sided street
I
at all.
pull both of those together like that.
I mean, because it's just simply not. The police has 100% has issues, but if we're gonna sit here and say that we don't have any blame to doing this,
I'm
we
not
don't.
saying we don't.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So my issue is when you say that exists right now. There are what you're talking about exists right now. The problem is we are so turned off when it comes to the police. There is no middle ground. That's the thing. There is no middle ground. There is just what we say, and they have what they say, and then that's the problem right now. The problem is no one is trying to find a middle ground. It's just y'all need to do whatever we say because you work for us, and they saying that this is the law. This is how this how we gonna do it. Okay, cool. How about everyone tries to work in the middle? We attempt to work in the middle. To understand that they need to understand that what we go through and what we see from visual, like from our perspective, is this.
There needs to be more empathy on both sides.
Right.
How
Because
do you get it then? If you're saying that,
I don't think it's hard.
how you don't think it's hard?
No,
Why?
I don't, because I can easily look at a police officer and see how their job is difficult.
Okay, that's you. But what I'm saying here
How
is
can you not?
for the individuals. Wait,
You don't
hold
see
on,
how-
Hold on,
Di-
hold
okay.
on. For the individuals that you're saying that are out there, because there are individuals out there that are so hard against the police that they won't have nothing to do.
It's a
with
lot.
It's a lot. But how do you get that person
Right.
to see the way you see?
You don't. That is the problem.
So
If we can't come into a room and I can't give you factual information about what a situation is, and you're going to give me emotion back. There's a difference between emotion and facts. So if you're going to give me emotion back, whenever I give you factual information, then you're not even willing to hear what I'm talking about. So now we can't even meet anywhere. So I can't come. Their job is not to come all the way to you and pull you halfway.
why?
You have to come halfway. They have to come halfway.
Hold on. The average individual probably don't know the laws. The average individual probably don't know the rules and standards of the police.
Right.
The average individual probably doesn't know the day-to-day that police have to go through.
Right.
Right? So what makes you think that that an average individual is going to have any type of, will to come to a police officer and say, "Hey, I want to know more"?
That's not what I'm saying. Because if you go into the police officer, that's not what I'm saying. I'm
So
saying the
that's
police
what-
officer
that's-
has to want to do it, and you have to want to do it.
But
if you
that's my
don't
point.
want to do it,
That's
they
my
can't
point.
make you.
That's why I said there has to be a middleman. You can't sit here and expect police who are against people who are against them.
But the problem with the middleman is that the non-police, the black community, or whatever you want to call them, they're not going to, if they're not receptive to the police, they're not going to be receptive to the middleman.
Not at all.
But
due to the fact that they know that the middleman is trying to connect them with the police.
But
You're looked at as a traitor.
You're so let me break it down even further. Right, this middleman, like I said before, isn't out here trying to bust people.
Yeah, no, I get what you're
The
saying.
purpose of the middleman isn't just to make the police seem friendlier.
Right.
The purpose of the middleman is to inform the people and inform the police.
Right.
And I ain't saying inform the police as in, hey, I seen Johnny over there, you know what I'm saying? He threw some trash on the ground.
Talking about telling them how people feel.
Exactly.
Right.
Teaching them the neighborhoods that they're serving.
Are the middlemen still police?
Yes.
It's not gonna work.
It's important.
I won't say it's not going to work.
See, I think the word. I think the word problem.
very difficult.
You saying police? I think like
It'd be very difficult.
I think you saying
I'm saying-
the term police is going to be a bad connotation regardless of how
Yeah.
you put it.
Yeah.
So
let's call them support.
It's been made a bad connotation.
Let's call them police support, right? Because they're not walking around with guns. The whole purpose is community relations.
Right.
And they have police officers or teams of police officers that are responsible for community relations that are a part of the departments.
That exists.
You know, right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
They already have this,
Right.
But they're police,
Right.
right? They walk around doing police community relations with guns on their belts, badges on their chests,
Right.
and the people that are out in the neighborhoods who see them as cops, see them as people that they are against.
There are some unarmed too.
I need you to wear a Detroit Lions jersey, some Air Force Ones, some cargo shorts, maybe a fitted or snapback, Michelin S, maybe. No badge, 2 gold chains or silver.
Still going.
But he's being wild right now.
But I'm completely
But
honest.
the problem is
That's the truth.
A lot of people think that way.
Yeah, that's the truth.
They want you to be them. And but then I see what G is saying, because a lot of them still just won't accept it, because if we're being honest, a lot of people, most people, don't have emotional intelligence. So they're going to react because of their preconceived notion that they already have of police, and whether they call them police or not, even if it's just let's just say it's another white man, right? They're already, I mean, we clearly know that there's a disconnect there in a lot of areas,
Right.
in a lot of cities and things of that nature, unfortunately. So then you also have, if it is let's say it is a black man, or even, we'll even say Hispanic, or another person, another minority, we'll just keep it at that. Even if it is another minority, then that comes into the play of, again, that cycle of what G is talking about, how that community won't accept them in the majority. Some will, sure. There will be the small few like us who are a little more open-minded to things that may happen in that regard. But then you have those.
I feel like we're stereotyping our own community. I honestly feel like
Unfortunately, a lot of stereotypes are true. But
Unfortunately,
I don't think they're 100% true.
I didn't say 100. I didn't say
He said
100%.
But see,
a
this is
lot
where
of
we
majority.
gotta-
A lot of
this is
them
where we
are.
gotta be serious.
A lot of them are.
We gotta be honest out here. A lot
I'm
of
being
stereotypes.
honest.
The thing is,
I'm being
are
honest.
true.
You like
we
fried
sitting
chicken?
here, but I'm saying,
Y'all like fried chicken, right?
We sitting
Y'all
here
chill.
stereotyping police too.
I'm not saying. Listen,
So we got to keep it both ways.
I'm
That's all
saying.
I'm
I'm saying
We talking
there
about what
are
most police
bad.
do.
I'm saying there are bad apples on both sides of the
Right.
fence.
I agree.
I'm not saying
Sure.
that most of the people in the community are bad people. I'm not saying most cops are bad.
Right, but
bad cops.
the
What
few
I'm
ruins it for
saying.
the many.
What I'm saying is the optics here have to change.
Yes.
And in order for the optics to change, they have to be viewed on both sides, from both sides.
I'm
You have to want
sorry.
to.
I'm not saying there's only a few in the black community that feel this way. I'm saying there's a
I was just
majority.
trying to help.
There's a
yeah,
majority
there's a
of people
majority.
in the black community
There's
that
always a
feel
majority.
that way. That
There
if
is.
you go with if you're with the police, then you're against them.
Yeah,
That's just a
there
lot
is.
of them feel that way.
It is.
Because again, it comes back to my point of them not having a certain emotional intelligence to make their own decisions and to come up with these certain ideas, because they go off of what society will say about certain things. That's just-
But we're society, and we're continue to say it. That's my point. We continue pushing that our people are against this and against that. But if we constantly go to our own people
Right.
and we say, "Hey, look, this is what it could be. This is," and inform them.
I respect that.
One of the-
I respect that for
one of
sure.
the-
I hear you.
But wait here. One of the
I get
things
with that.
that I wanted to do,
with
when
that.
I was younger, and I still want to do, is be able to start an organization that will allow me to reach out to younger people and their parents to help create opportunities for them. Right. If you were to have this same mindset to believe that most black people or most people in certain communities are against this opposition, and I went into the community and saying, "Hey man, I can help you do this, I can help you do that." I know a lot of people who will turn down help because someone tried to help them before and it didn't work out.
Sure, absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
But if I constantly tell people that, "Hey man, it ain't gonna work out, bro. You don't need to take that help, bro." We shouldn't think that it's okay that we can just go in the community and tell people that we gonna help them.
Now, I don't want there to be. It seems like there's a strong misconception here. from at least from my end, I ain't never said that things couldn't change
But that's what I'm saying.
or slowly change or things of that nature. I'm just telling you how it is.
If
I'm just putting things into perspective.
I understand.
These are how things are.
I understand that. I understand that they're like this now.
Sure.
But what
And
I'm
have been
saying,
forever.
what I'm saying is,
I ain't gonna say forever.
I won't say forever, but for a long time.
what I'm saying
you're right,
is, at some point, someone has to say, "This is what it can be,"
Right.
Sure.
and then act on it.
I
Are
agree.
you going to be that guy?
I will absolutely be that guy. I will absolutely be that guy, and I will absolutely go out in the community and help people become informed on different things that I personally know about.
Respect.
Right? I can't inform people on things I don't know. Right? But I can go to somebody and say, "Hey, you know this? Help me help someone else be informed."
Absolutely.
help me help someone else? That's what I'm talking
I
about.
mean,
Absolutely.
that's
real.
what needs to be happening. I mean,
Hey,
that's what
hey,
needs to happen.
that's
hey,
what I'm
you know what I'm
saying.
saying? Like, I mean,
No, don't get me wrong though. I do believe that it has to start somewhere. I've said that at the beginning, earlier in the episode, piggybacking off what you said earlier. I do believe it has to start somewhere. Do I feel like, now I will say this. Now, people, a lot of times I like to say, if one person gets one other person to, or helps one other person, we'll just say that.
We'll start pyramid
If
scheme.
one person helps one other person, if everybody does that or whatever, the numbers just play out really
Pay it
well.
forward.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll just say it that way. The numbers play out really well. So
Right. Then help
sure,
a bunch of people
if
help one.
if it starts off that way, I'm here for it. I'm just saying, I'm just here to point out that it is in this current moment, in this current time, it's difficult because of the current climate that people have. And G makes a good point. He brought up last year, all these riots and all these different things and all these people saying what police need to do, but they're not actually trying to change what police are doing.
I'm gonna go.
I don't think that's true.
See,
I think the table
in the
hasn't been
majority.
set.
Again,
I think people.
what is reset?
Huh?
What's reset? You
he
said
said the
something.
table hasn't been set.
Oh, hasn't been set.
That's what I'm saying.
sorry.
I think the
misheard.
table. I think the table simply hasn't been set. We have all these riots. We have all these people that are angry in the streets. And don't get me wrong, people out here just doing some stupid stuff.
And a
and
lot of
burning
people.
down,
It's conversation for another day.
Yeah, but at this point, I think that there needs to be an actual table set of community individuals, and I ain't talking about politics. Guy, ain't, we know politicians, they just out for themselves. I'm just gonna put it out there. That's my opinion.
It's the truth.
I'm talking about your average Joe in your average neighborhood who sees an issue between the police and his people in his community. And I think these are the people that have to sit down with a representative of the police, not the police exactly themselves. Someone who is informed like the police, someone who knows the ins and outs of the police, but can sit down and have an actual conversation with an actual person.
I actually think
And
they would need to
inform
have the
people.
conversation with the actual police.
Yeah.
Well,
me too.
here's my thing.
I
though.
just
I think that the climate within the police is one to protect the police. That is my belief. It may not be something.
I think that's very factual.
that's
right?
typically with most
But that's with
things,
Most
most
people.
occupations.
But just like in our community,
that's
our
ours too.
community,
Most groups.
exactly.
Yeah.
right.
So
That's
if I
why the situation is what it is.
say that hey, I'm a cop, and you telling me that they should cut my funding, I need to feed my family. I need to do that.
Absolutely.
and that's a valid reason,
Right.
right?
If
I'm
I
not
was a
trying
cop,
to
I
I'm
probably
not trying to
wouldn't
take
feel like
nobody's money,
Right.
right?
If I was a cop, I probably wouldn't feel too
Exactly. So if
about
I sit
cutting my pay,
if I sit an activist or
My
average Joe who happens to be an activist in front of a police officer and that activist say, hey, we need to cut your funding because you ain't a good cop,
right.
or your police department suck, and so now we just got this big old back and forth. They ain't doing nothing.
Sounds like we need better leaders
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that too.
We need
in these
better leaders.
communities.
But that's what I'm saying. It
And
has
just in
to
general,
be.
but-
It has to be someone that can inform.
Yeah. Here's the problem.
I'm gonna let you
Again,
finish. I'm gonna let
yeah.
you finish. But so
Kanye.
I'll let you finish. So I'm
let
gonna
you
try to get this
finish
thought
before
off
you
for a
start.
minute. Y'all been cutting me. I got time. Anyways, I'm gonna
I'm gonna let you finish before
Taylor
you start.
Swift. I'm gonna let you finish.
let you finish.
But Beyonce had the best sound.
I'm gonna let you finish.
Go ahead.
Y'all saying all this, and I'm y'all, great facts. But when you go into like where we need to start, how this all gonna get done, all the implementation, the middleman, or an arbitrator, somebody there to keep everything copacetic and understand both sides, to mediate everything. That's cool, but the biggest thing is how you gonna get those people to the table. So if you get those people to the table, regardless of jobs and everything, if you can't see eye to eye, I mean, like I said at the beginning, you need positivity. You need some type of positive feedback from both sides of how they can do that.
Mic drop.
Somehow,
I can.
Where you going, Mark?
because it's like, I mean, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong.
Yes.
Because
I can. Well,
you don't need no positive feedback. You don't need no positivity to bring them to the table.
You're not wrong. But I don't understand. But I'm actually happy you said that, because it goes back into what I was actually about to say. With the issue here. So the cops can do all of that, right? Right. So we can have all this, and we can actually make some headway, right? We can do something in Detroit, right? We can get this stuff figured out, right? And then down in Minnesota, right? An officer can knee on a black man's neck and kill him. This was my issue with the riots in general, right? So, and this is why.
Oh, I got something about riots, but go ahead.
Yeah, but that's
off topic.
This is why this is almost, and when I say it's on both sides, and it's almost never ending, is because black people are going to die by police officers. We need to understand that, and it's going to happen. Now, what we want is for it to be justified, and we don't want no unarmed people, nobody shot in the back, and nothing like that. We understand people are going to die. Black people, white people, everyone going at some point if it's justified.
If we're being honest, it could be justified, and a lot of people are still, they won't actually listen to if it was justified.
Right.
But that's another conversation. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I
digress.
That's where I'm going.
You're saying things happen. Cool.
So this is where I'm going. So look what happened in the summertime. George Floyd lives in Minnesota.
Yes, he does. Or did. Sorry.
Police cars were burning downtown in Detroit. Why? I understand if you wanted to go and protest, but they were down there as if those cops killed George Floyd.
I would never understand riots in general, by the way.
Yeah,
No,
wait,
you can't. But
no.
we gonna
I'm
react,
not going to justify. I'm not going to
Listen,
justify.
if we're going to react that way, we're never going to get.
Wait,
We're not wrong.
If we're going to say
Listen.
that everyone's guilty for one man.
Listen.
We don't
I'm
want them
not
to do that to us.
justifying. I'm not justifying people rioting and damaging property and hurting people.
Out of stupidity.
What
I
I'm
will say,
saying
out of
is
stupidity.
what. Yeah, absolutely out of
That was
stupidity.
dumb. You burn your own stuff.
But what I'm saying.
That was what.
But what I'm saying is George Floyd died by the hands of police officers.
Sure.
Right.
It was taped.
Right.
It was seen.
Right.
And it
The
wasn't
whole
just.
country seen it. The whole world seen it.
Right. And I'm sorry.
Right.
Maybe it was one police officer's knee, but it was other
But
police
here's-
officers.
here-
four of them, bro.
So I just wanted to make sure that was.
Here's the point.
100%.
Here's the point.
Go ahead, Chuck.
Here's the
They're all
point.
indicted.
Right? That's just one instance. We know there are many instances, where police officers have, harmed or killed
That aren't even filmed.
individuals that
100%.
were innocent or not even innocent, but just wasn't justified in that action.
I agree with that.
Right? And to say that people here in Detroit shouldn't react,
Never said that.
I'm not saying
I said
that
they can go and protest.
they can go and protest.
100%.
Absolutely. I'm not saying that they should go out here and burn stuff and they should go out here and
we agree.
loot and doing all this stuff. I'm saying that they should absolutely feel angry
100%. They should feel angry.
upset.
Absolutely.
I never
because
said
it's
they
happening
shouldn't.
here too.
I never said that they should not.
It's the rioting. That's the issue.
became
I think
a
rioting.
I think
general
rioting in
is-
general, like you said, I think rioting in general just shouldn't be an issue. I mean, I don't say an issue, but it shouldn't be something that's done. I think that
Writing and protesting two different things. People,
No.
please understand that.
I will say.
Please
this.
understand that.
Well, let me say this. I will say this though. In defense of, now again, I've already stated. I was the first person to say it. I think rioting is
Trash.
foolish. Okay.
Trash.
But in defense of those who did angrily protest, if they want to call it that, sure. Anyway,
Vigorously
for-
protest.
in defense of those people,
Vigorously protesting.
a lot of those people just emotionally feel like that, well, when we do protest, they say we're rioting, when we do protest, how many times did our last president last year say that there were riots going on
100%.
when people were
when there were peacefully protesting.
But when people ran the Capitol, it was anyway. So
Yeah, we're not finna touch that one.
So
we're not finna touch that one.
I might touch that
We're not finna touch that one.
at another time. But I'm just saying. So I do understand that there was just an explosion of emotion.
I agree with
people didn't know what to do with their emotions because they were like, well, we tried it this way. Now this is some people. Obviously, I can't speak for everybody. Some people were just wanted to be fools.
Yeah,
so don't get me wrong. But some people were just angry because they didn't. It was like, well, we tried it this way and that ain't work. So we're gonna try it a different way. And again, I don't agree with the rioting because for one, I think it just hurts your own community.
It does.
I think that's my biggest issue too. Why hurt other people that didn't have anything to do?
You about to throw a can of fire inside my favorite restaurant?
Yeah,
come on,
like,
bro. Come on.
I want to go
eat
eat there. I want to eat there on Saturday.
They got
you know
great
what I mean? Like,
wings.
what are we doing?
Look,
so
they pancakes is fire.
That thing doesn't. That part never made sense to me. But I do understand the emotional part about it, where you don't know what they didn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So and again, this is just me coming back to emotional intelligence for whatever reason, strongly in my mind today. But like, people just don't have that emotional intelligence to be able to say, "All right, I have all this anger. What to do with it? I don't know, but maybe I should. I don't know what to do with it, so I'll just do something.
I'm gonna go throw an axe at the window.
I just got to do something." So,
but that's I think we looking at it in a somewhat of a flat plane. It's just complex.
No, I think that's
just
what.
talked on both sides.
But I think that's what I'm trying to explain is that it's complex. I feel like you guys have been looking at it more in a flat plane.
Absolutely
because
not.
because
Absolutely
what I'm
not.
saying is that there are.
You guys.
To my right, I feel like there's a situation as last episode and this one, it's been as if this is like some situation where they need more training. Once they get more training, stuff.
No.
Stuff,
All right, so
let's say not a black person dies for 3 years.
wow,
Let one happen. In 2024.
that would be amazing.
In 2024, let one die. And it looks like a situation where it's a George Floyd. Are we going to say that cop was bad and needs to go to jail, or we're going to say the whole system and everybody has to go?
That cop.
No.
In general, and people in general,
It's Mark.
people are going to say police.
I thought you was asking us.
Okay,
I thought you was asking us.
let's be realistic. Mark, if
I
that
thought you was
happens,
asking us. So you know,
are we back to where we at today?
The community is going back to hating.
We're burning it down.
Let's go.
What I'm trying to
will.
get you to understand is
I got it.
What I'm trying to get you to understand
I got
is
it, B. I
this
got it.
whole situation boils down to not killing an entire organization. There are things within the
who
within
said anything
police.
about killing an organization?
No,
He didn't
listen.
say you did. He's just
No, there is things within the policing that needs to change 100%. But there are more good people who are cops than bad people.
Not disagreeing.
I understand that, but when we talk about policing and how police are, we have to recognize that, and we have to speak to that.
That's true.
Because
So speak to
that has
that
to be
about
said.
the
We
community
speak too
too.
much. Listen,
Speak to that
I know,
about the
listen,
community too,
listen.
because y'all
Let me
sitting
finish,
here
I'll tell
and
you.
beating down on the black community
I'm
like
trying
the
to-
whole black community is out here just against
This is what
every
I'm trying
cop
to.
on the
This is
street.
what I'm
Hold
trying
on.
to explain.
Come on, man.
But I just had a whole soliloquy,
Right.
okay, about
No, I'm not talking
I'm
about
talking
you.
from the
I'm just-
side of
but-
the
but
emotional
listen.
side and understanding
No.
that. So I
First of all,
what I'm-
he said the word soliloquy. I just want to throw that out there.
Listen,
Great.
what I'm trying to explain is there are really good cops. Majority of them are good. When it comes to black people, majority of them are good. Majority of the black people wants to see the good cops patrolling the neighborhoods and keeping everybody safe.
All right.
That's where the median is. Okay, the median is the good people on an African American community
Minority.
and then the good people who are cops getting together and rooting out the bad on both sides. Because the problem is, as we said, the bad apples and the cops ruin it for the cops. The bad apples for us ruin it for us. So we can't sit here and act like, oh, we're gonna just gloss over the fact that we know for a fact There's dudes down there who's thugs and gangbangers down there
Who's trying to gloss
protesting.
over that?
Listen, no, I'm saying thugs and gangbangers downtown protesting Black Lives Matter and probably killed somebody 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then or selling drugs, which is also killing people.
Hey, don't sell drugs, kids.
The problem is we're focused. We're so focused and hell bent on saying, "Hey, police. Okay, cool. Bet. How about everybody focus on getting the evil out their own community? The cops, the good cops, need to force and get them guys out, and we need to do a better job of keeping our own community in check as well. So maybe they won't have to do it.
Are you telling me that you shouldn't throw stones if you live in a glass house?
Man, let me try. Look.
All right,
Hey,
so
I gotta be.
because
We sitting here having a conversation as if our whole house is clean.
Let me get him, B. Let me get him.
That's all I'm saying. We
Look,
having a
look.
conversation.
So
like,
I think he just completely missed everything I just said.
I got him.
I
B.
miss it.
I think you just
him.
completely
Right
missed it.
Look.
Man.
So I get what you said. There's evil on both sides.
It is.
Yeah, we both got to. Everybody got to fix their own dookie. Cool. Got it. 100%.
For sure.
People in the community, yeah, we need to go ahead and just understand what we got going on, fix that, but we also
How
need
we
to-
gonna fix it?
Exactly.
No, I'm not-
No. That's not a question. That's not a question. How we gonna fix it?
We can't fix it.
My point.
Do you want to know how because that involves changing people, and then that goes back to my thing about policing. You can change the law, you can do everything you want as long as you have bad people being police officers. You're always going to have this
So
situation.
what did I say in the beginning of this episode?
A lot of things.
I did say a lot of things. Yes, I did. But my point is, when you weed out the bad people prior to putting them in a uniform, then you make it a better situation.
Then what else after that? You can't do that all the
Why
time.
not?
Because you're not in a situation where you're in.
No,
I think we're making excuses.
I got it. After what you just said,
I
you
think
can't do
we're
that all the time.
absolutely making
He
excuses.
just said you can't do it all the time,
Making
right?
excuses
If you
is
said you
serious.
can't do
It's
it all
the
the time,
truth.
the police,
That is an
therefore,
excuse.
It goes the same with the community.
Okay.
If y'all can't do it all the time, we can't do it all the time, right? What?
You said that I
you
can't fix the cops by weeding them out before putting them in the
you
uniform.
can't do that all the time.
So,
That's exactly what you
so
said.
how am I gonna fix the community and the
therefore,
cops?
We can't do it at the
If
same
I
time.
can't tackle the cops, I know what I can do in my community.
Which question you want me to answer?
So look.
I can answer one of the
So-
questions.
so-
but which one?
so
I'm just saying what you said.
All right. So
No, you ain't.
we
about to
can't.
end the
We
conversation.
can't.
We can't end on that.
No.
I
We
gotta
can't.
answer
We
at least
can't.
one.
No, it's fine.
Which question?
That's all I'm
needs to be
trying.
answered.
That's all I'm trying to
I don't
get
even know what
to.
question I'm at.
I'm trying to get.
I'm trying.
Oh, good. I don't understand your question.
Dog, what
I'm not sure how
what
you
are
did that. but-
doing?
Yeah.
That's some hard laughter. So, I was trying to bring it down. Y'all, I was cool with y'all. Y'all was going at it, but y'all weren't getting clear. G trying to hear what y'all saying.
I don't know. I don't know
Y'all
what he was
both
trying to ask.
were- y'all-
But
Y'all were actually saying a lot of the same things, but y'all
Yeah,
couldn't,
I
y'all couldn't hear
understand.
each other because y'all were yelling over each
I
other.
hear
Go ahead.
bits of this one and out loud. I don't know which one.
Off of what he said, that's what I'm saying. No, you combated what he said, and I'm not saying you were incorrect, but he came out with a statement.
Right.
And it was like you got to weed out some, weed out the bad people.
Right.
You're saying you can't do that all the time, right?
Right.
I'm saying that I agree, you can't. But what I'm also saying is, in the community, we can't either. We can't. We can't catch every person that's doing bad.
Right.
It's impossible.
100%.
So what I'm saying, and that's when it goes into you on our side. We need to view from theirs at the same time. They need to view from ours.
Right.
I'm not.
I literally said that
That's
earlier today.
that's what we're saying, right?
Actually, Mark said that. But,
No, I said that.
He said empathy, and that's what this all boils down to. for me.
But I'm saying that's
Okay.
that's what we're saying, right? Now,
Test your tape.
then you're asking is like how to implement it. You say you got to start somewhere. No one knows where to start at this point in time. I don't. I can't give you a position where to start right
Literally
now.
laid it out.
That's from your own position. But
My point is,
but
my
what
point is,
stuff breaks
my
down?
point is, listen. Listen.
I feel like I'm being told to right now.
If
No question.
if we sit here and continue to say, hey, that won't work, that won't work, that won't work, that won't work, we shouldn't try anything because, well, we should just continue to do what we're doing. Just add more cops. Yeah. Create more issues on the street with people who aren't professional enough to go out and handle situations that are causing issues in the community. Yes, that's a situation that we can live with. Okay. I'm going to continue to beat on the community by saying, hey, what we do works. That's the same thing the police has constantly said. What we do works. What we do works. we don't need to change anything. And then in the community, they're saying, hey, we know that we got bad people in the community. We ain't gonna rat them out. Yeah, they bad apples too.
Facts. I'm not gonna disagree with that. Facts.
But my point is, if we don't start somewhere,
I ain't no snitch though.
That's where it starts.
if we don't start somewhere, if we don't implement stuff on both sides,
I agree.
somewhere.
That's true.
I'm just saying.
But to
where's the way?
say that simply because we have a shortage of police officers that we should not implement certain I don't gonna say laws, but rules and stipulations,
more
guidelines or whatever, that it's gonna cause an issue. It's gonna help eventually. We just have to have the patience to allow it to take its course.
Well, I mean,
on our side too, though. On the community side.
But
too.
how much does patience cost?
Why are we talking about cost?
Because I'm not talking about monetarily. So the lack of police.
So
what does
you
that,
saying
what does
that we
equate
should just
to?
keep doing what
let
we
him-
doing though?
I'm asking. So what
ahead,
does
get your point out.
what does the lack of police equate to? That is
The
the
same
situation.
thing. The same thing that we've been doing over the last decade.
Right. So in Detroit, it already takes a record amount of time for a cop to show up.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even show up if your car gets stolen.
I know
Because
that.
they have so many other calls to do.
Right.
So they're already short-staffed,
Right.
already severely.
Okay.
So we're talking about a situation where you're saying have patience. Okay, it's almost as if I'll compare it to coronavirus. The people who said that well, if we have patience, then most people will get coronavirus, and then we'll have herd immunity. Okay, that is true. But at the same time, how many people are going to die in that process? So just saying that, okay, well, we're going to do this and we're going to hold off and we're going to keep more cops in training longer. Okay, I'm not saying that they shouldn't have more training. What I'm saying is that you have to structure it in a way to where it helps and not hurts. That's what I'm. That's all I'm getting at.
I can agree with
But
that.
I never said that you shouldn't.
So we can't just toss out the idea that they don't need. Well, it's an excuse that they need cops. No, it's not an excuse. They're trying to save people.
So we can't
just say they don't just want more cops just to want them.
I'm saying that it's an excuse to not do it just because we need more cops on the street.
That's a reason.
That's an excuse.
That's a reason as
To
to why
say
it's
that
difficult.
we should not have anything in place to better the police.
No, we're saying it's a
Simply
reason.
because we
They have-
need more cops
They
on the
have
street.
lots of things in
That's
place
an
to better the
excuse.
police.
Absolutely.
What we're
an
saying is
excuse.
it's
So
a reason as to
ultimately-
why it's more difficult.
So-
That's just more reason. It's just a reason.
So ultimately,
I'm not saying it's impossible.
So you
it's just a
think it
reason.
shouldn't be difficult to become a cop?
ultimately,
It is difficult
to
to become a
get
cop.
to the
I don't think it's difficult to become a cop at all.
To get to the end of this
it's
episode,
harder to become somebody in the military.
we gotta wrap it up. To get to the end of this episode, because we going y'all. If I let y'all go, y'all gonna keep going forever.
Part 3.
Okay, and we got to get to this. But ultimately, you honestly both are saying. Everything's been said tonight. Has been a lot of things that have to both coincide together to work.
Right.
I don't think there's one specific way. There's only one way. I'll say there's only one. There's not one way that things need to go.
Right.
There's a multitude
100%.
of things that need to happen in order for
conflict
things
situation.
to progress, and that comes from both sides.
Yes.
The community and the actual police
100%,
department.
100%.
And multiple things have to happen, and I think that our viewers definitely loved this episode.
Why'd you
'cause I
change your
did. I
voice
thought
like
it was
that,
good.
bro?
I enjoyed it. We definitely want to do some things.
You just went straight into
We want to
the
do
smoothest
our
section.
part. We want to do our part.
He keeps sweat over there.
We want to do our part to make the community better. Ultimately, like Chuck said, and I'm with him on this. If he goes out there, he's gonna go out there and he's gonna put whatever work needs to be done
Right.
to help from his end. That's one person that will help lead the charge. That's some, and as others continue to do that same thing, that's when we can ultimately change things. Is by one person, whether it be in the police department, in the community, wherever. And this is really goes across the board with a multitude of things. When one person decides that we got to change some things, that will continue to progress and more people will follow that. And I think we all have to just do our part to try to make this better. And we genuinely could have a part 3 to this. I don't know how much y'all want to hear us keep talking about the same topic, so we probably won't. But
We'll have a part 3.
it might be. No, I'm just playing. I hope y'all enjoyed this. Seriously, I know I cut Chuck off. He'll get over it.
No,
But
I'm be mad in our group chat.
we got.
I mean, he talked for an
I'm
hour
just
and 40
playing.
minutes.
He did talk for an hour and forever. So
I'm sorry, an hour and what?
He said forever.
I mean, we had about 2 hours now, so he talked for about at least an hour and a half.
No, but we
I don't think so.
But we definitely no. But it was a good conversation. We definitely be back next episode. Make sure y'all check out all the episodes. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, share, all of that good stuff. Hey, man, we definitely appreciate y'all too. By the way, y'all been sharing this stuff. Y'all been leaving comments, especially on Facebook. We definitely need more people on YouTube. So if you watching us on YouTube, we definitely need more people to kind of like tell people about it, share whatever you can do on YouTube, like so we can get more, more people to see on YouTube. We definitely appreciate you guys, and even everybody who's just listening. All of our regular podcast listeners, we appreciate y'all.
Quick shout out to Mama Platt. I didn't know he has license suspended either. So
Wait, hold on, wait a minute.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that comment.
Your mama got on there, bro.
I saw that comment.
Your mama got on there, bro.
Relax. No need to put my
I mean, you did air out your own business.
no need to put my information out again. Okay.
Well, I mean, you already put.
Let me put my information out.
I mean, the video can
Hey,
be
mama,
watched
I
multiple
love you.
times.
Things
Hold it
happen.
down.
It's whatever. It was like 10 years ago. Get over it.
Maybe.
I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
So we signing off.
Can we get some banana pudding at the crib though? I'm just saying it's summertime. Dom, you want some banana pudding?
Facts.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Hey, love you.
I take some
Hey.
wings from New Wave. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, no, Scotia stop, bro.
Scotia stop.
Scotia stop.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway.
Anyway, hey, we got to sign off from Boys to Men. We'll see y'all next episode. Peace.
One.
2.